Good morning, good morning. You are listening to Ryan Fleming and my co-host,
Marlee Fleming.
and we are Waking Up with Flem. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Marlee.
Good morning, listeners. We are so glad that you are joining us on this bright and early Monday morning. We hope that you all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I know ours was just a little bit rainy, but still very busy as we are in full gear of sports seasons with our kids. As many of you parents are, we have one in soccer and one in football. So they take up our weekends, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes, all weekend. Every weekend.
But you know what? This weekend, our church did a little parents' night out, which was fantastic. I always like to be able to just get away, just even if it's for a few hours, and spend some time with the significant other. But we checked out a new restaurant in our town. It's called Farmacia. It's an Italian restaurant, and the atmosphere is amazing. It's beautiful. It's out of an old pharmacy, and so they still are paying tribute to a lot of the I don't want to say potions. Pharmaceuticals. They have a lot of
Prescriptions.
Prescriptions. Thank
That's the
you.
word.
Yes, thank you. But so they have a lot of the prescription bottles up on the walls, and they're displaying them on the TV. But Ryan and I shared a thing of meatballs.
Yep.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in that restaurant I cannot pronounce,
Yeah.
so I'm not even going to try to.
Meatballs, ravioli, and pasta.
Yeah. There's the gist of our meal, but it was really good. So if you are in the Habersham County area or around it, I highly recommend checking out Farmacia.
Yes, good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Good friends we had with us.
Yep, we did. We had our friends Brian and Lauren, and Lauren and I thought we would try out a macchiato. Okay, like it's an espresso, but guys, this was not like my morning Starbucks crisp apple oatmeal macchiato.
No.
It came in a little tiny glass, and me and Lauren just kind of looked at each other and we're like, what is this? Are we going to be able to get enough out of this?
A shot glass of caffeine.
Excuse me I have not had the, I guess, true espresso. But yeah, so Lauren took the first, I have to say, swig, and whoo, she was like, okay, I'm good now. And we both finished our little shot of espresso. The boys got to try just a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was no good. I'm not a coffee
I
person.
say Ryan's not a coffee drinker. He's a hot chocolate drinker.
Yes, hot chocolate all the way.
But yeah, and then we still had about an hour and a half to spare. So we went axe throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't tried throwing some axes, I highly recommend that as well. We had a lot of fun with that one too.
A lot of fun.
And you know what? Lauren kicked our butts.
Yeah, you can say that.
She came back. She triumphed. Is that a word? Triumphed?
Maybe. It's going to be. It's in there now.
I'm going to use it.
It's in there now.
But yeah.
She was triumphant in her win.
She was triumphant in it. So yeah, the Hills, they beat us in axe throwing. And,
Yes.
and Ryan and I are very competitive.
Very competitive.
Ryan was throwing his axe and tomahawk.
Yeah, they have tomahawks now. Word to the wise. Don't throw the tomahawk too fast because it will bounce back. And just my instincts, I had to catch it when it come back to me.
Whew, that was a little scary.
Yeah, and the guy running the place was like, don't do that anymore. I'm like, well, that's something you can pull off the cameras. You can say, hey, don't catch your tomahawk, guys. It is not safe.
Word to the wise, guys.
Yes.
Word to the wise.
Yes.
But yes, we had a great parents' night out. Thank you, church, for that.
Yep.
And we had a great time with our friends. And it was nice just to be able to be kid-free for a few hours.
And then wake up on Saturday, drive almost an hour to a soccer match, and in the rain.
In the rain. But you know what? We had spent a few weeks ago for Maisie's soccer tournament, and we invested in a tent.
Yes, best thing ever.
Thing ever. And so it's not only for the sun, it's for the rain. And so we put up our tent. We had some of our soccer parents join us underneath there. We are open. Please come and join us under our soccer tent.
We had another group of parents in another tent right beside us that before the game started, the wind blew and took their tent over the fence. It's quite hilarious.
Yeah, and there's a tall fence, guys.
It's like 8 foot.
Yeah. So Ryan did his parent due diligence and climbed the fence and got it for him.
Yep.
Yeah. But Ryan, do you want to go into our experience on Saturday with not our team, but the other team?
Yeah. We were pretty good even for the first 15 minutes in the game, and then we started getting a score here and got a second score, and these girls just started going nuts, like pushing and shoving. And by the half, I don't know what we winning by 3-0 at the half.
I think so.
I think it was 3-0 at half. We had 2 goals, a penalty kick by 2 other girls on the team, and they come out at halftime and they were rough.
Mm-hmm. Very. And this is a 12U league, so these are
11 and
12-year-old girls.
Well, we have a few on the team that are not very, what's the word? That don't take stuff very well. If somebody shoves you in the back. We had one that was...
Well, yeah, no one likes to be shoved in the back.
Got shoved in the back, and she turned around and bucked at her. I was just hoping that she would punch her, but it's 11-year-old, so can't do that.
Yes. But yeah, no one appreciates being shoved or anything. Yeah. So hey, I applaud our girls. They did phenomenal.
Great job. Phenomenal.
They ended up winning 8-0.
Yep.
Even with already getting so many goals, I'm going to use that word again.
They were triumphant. They played hard the whole game. It didn't matter if they were winning 8-0 or 1-0.
I love seeing that. So let's give our girls some applause for that. Yeah, that's how us parents were doing.
Yeah, we were screaming. Well, the best part of the game is by this time we were probably winning 5-0. Maisie had scored 2 goals after the half, and the coach on the other team, which from when the game started sounded exactly like our coach of our team, but our coach wasn't there. He was dealing with some other stuff, and that's okay. We have a great assistant coach that did wonderful this weekend. And he just yells at his girls and says, "Girls, y'all need to shut up and quit listening to your parents. They're just wannabe coaches."
Which, I mean, a lot of us parents, whether it's for soccer or football or baseball, we want to do a little bit of coaching on the sideline. Well, a little bit of coaching, but I've never...
It was wonderful.
Yes, I've never heard the coach actually yell, and I mean, we're on a pretty big field, yell across the field to his girls to tell their parents to shut up.
And then another goal by Maisie, and I was the loudest one there, yelling just because the guy was upset he was losing that bad, and then 2 more goals and ended 8-0.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It was a great game.
We have a really great group of parents. We've ran with most of these parents for almost 4 years now. With a travel team, but some of them we even started out at Rex. So this is a great group of girls, great group of parents. Yep. So I hope that our parents out there that are really heavily involved in sports, I hope you have a great group of parents too, because that makes the season so much fun and so much easier. So yes. But in addition to our game, we usually we're out and about, and we'll go do a little bit of shopping and eating and everything else, and we're driving down the road, and I look at Ryan. So I don't need a new car. I would like a new car, but I don't need a new car. So that's where my needs and my wants are. And so Ryan's a bright colored car individual. He likes bright colors.
Yes.
I'm more
Grays, whites,
blacks.
blacks.
I've never had a white car. But yeah, just very neutral colors. But I did tell him, I was like, you know what? The only kind of cars, there's two types of cars that I would actually buy a different color. And that would be either a Jeep Wrangler or a Ford Bronco. Those are the only two types. So we start looking at some cars online and everything. And one of the places that we had looked at a few weeks ago, just to go look, just to kind of test some things out and everything. They had a few of the Jeep Wranglers, and I'm at that point in my life. I think because Ryan's got a big 4-door truck. I currently have a third row SUV, but we really don't use the third row that often, except for like when my sister and brother-in-law come into town. I mean, we don't do a whole lot of hauling. We only have the 2 kids. We have the seats down primarily most of the time. So, I mean, it comes really in handy when we are carrying is it a 12 by 12 tent?
10 by 12.
10 by 12. So it comes in a lot, I mean, really handy with the 10 by 12 tent. But overall, I'm like, do I need all this space?
No.
Do I? All right. So
if we needed that space, you can just throw it in the F-250 and you have plenty of space in there.
Exactly. But you know what? With both the Jeep and the Bronco, I think their back hatches pop open too. So we could probably even just throw it in there.
It's kind of like we used to do when we didn't have a truck and we'd throw it in the back of the Grand Cherokee and let it hang out the back or all the way to the front windshield.
But how many years did we have that Grand Cherokee before we figured out that happened?
That back window popped out before we sold it, and I was like, "That happens? That works like that?"
Yep.
Had it for
Never
like
fails.
4 or
Never
5 years,
fails.
and the back window pops open, and I'm like, "What?"
But yeah, so I mean, I'm looking online, and I'm like, okay, well, Ryan's like, well, we'll go look at him, test drive him after church. I was like, okay, all right. And this is Saturday. And so I'm kind of thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, yay, we get to go kind of like look at some cars after church on Sunday. So I delayed. I did not do my Walmart delivery because I was like, well, I don't know what time we'll be leaving, because now Walmart does the delivery like in a 2-hour span. So I'm like, well, if I have cold stuff,
sit outside.
We get out of church at 12, but it goes till 1. I don't want to be waiting around, but I also don't want milk sitting out on my front porch. So aside from all of that, the one place that I was wanting to go and look at, they're closed on Sunday. So I was kind of doing my little bit of a research and found that another place had a couple of them, had the Jeeps, had the Broncos, and it was a little bit further distance. And so I told Ryan, I was like, well, the only places that's open on Sunday is this place. And he's like, okay. We get home from church. We eat our lunch. We just kind of all are chilling out a little bit. I don't say anything.
Doesn't say anything.
Don't say anything. But my question, so I'm posing a question on this podcast. Is there such a thing as spouse intuition? I think so. I mean, in my mind, and I could be wrong, I'd really like for you to
leave a comment, please.
Please leave a comment.
You can do that now.
If there's such a thing as spouse intuition, because in my mind, he said that we could go after church.
Yes, I did. But nothing was brought up after church.
Why is it my place to have to bring it up? You're the one who said it. But
nothing was brought up. I know I said it. I was fine with going, but nothing was said. Instead, she goes outside and washes her car and vacuums her car for 3 hours. And then kind of gets upset with me because I didn't take her to look at cars. So I sat inside for 4 hours and did nothing. Nothing.
So guys, please let me know if you have spouse intuition.
Yes. Please help.
Because I really
help.
feel like this is on him and not on me today.
I guess I'll make it up to you.
But like I said, it's not a big deal because I don't need a new car.
No, but she deserves a new one every once in a while.
I will say, guys, Ryan is amazing. He spoils me so much. I think that's his love language, is definitely the gift giving. And he does a wonderful, wonderful job. But you know what? A car is a big gift.
That's big.
But yes, so that's my question for this episode is, does your spouse have spouse intuition? And if not, how do you communicate that to your spouse of what you're thinking, but you don't want to say it?
I don't have telepathy. I can't read your mind.
But guys, can you relate to me on this one?
I'm pretty sure everyone can. Pretty sure every woman out there can relate to you.
Oh, and for any of you that drive I'm looking at a 4-door Jeep Wrangler. I would love to have a more vintage Bronco.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with the newer model Broncos. I'm not a big fan of the sport, but more of, I want something that we can enjoy. Like.
That she can run over a curb and you won't notice it.
Thanks for calling me out on that one, Ryan.
Well, if I didn't, Maisie was going to.
Maisie would, yes, because that child of mine, I swear, anytime I do a little bump or a little oops,
comes home and tells Daddy.
She comes home and is like, "Hey, look what Mama did today." Or
Mom was going this fast on the way home today.
Yes, guys. Does your children tattle on you? And I'm not going that fast for any of you police friends out there. I'm not going that fast.
She doesn't go that fast.
I set my cruise and I go. Usually it's maybe a couple miles over. But yes. So, but for you, couple? Jeep and Bronco owners, how are you liking them? How would you compare them? Yay, nay, maybe? I have no idea. But I'd love to go test drive one. So
yes, we'll do that sometime.
He threw it sometime out there.
We'll do
so
that
guys,
sometime.
It could be in 6 months.
Hey, we can go to Athens this week and we can look while we're there.
We could.
See?
We could.
Football game on Saturday.
Soccer
game on Saturday. What time is this football game?
I think it's at 9 a.m.
What time's the soccer game?
1:30.
So from 10 to 1, you can go look.
Yeah.
Look at that time frame. Look.
We could.
Spousal intuition. Got
there
that?
There we go.
There it is.
It's on the calendar.
So, yeah, Lauren, it's on the calendar.
You back me up on this one. It's on the calendar.
Whew. This is rough.
All right, guys. Well, that is what we have for today's episode. So I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great rest of your week, a start to your week. I think we're starting to get some cooler weather.
Yay. It's
guys,
jogger season.
Jogger season.
And hoodies.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah. I'm a summer girl, so I will hold on to the warmth as long as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind fall. I don't. But I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we will talk to you and see you next Monday.
Yeah. Have a good week and some words of wisdom to live by. Just remember this. Every poo-poo time is a pee-pee time. But not every pee-pee time is a poo-poo time. Just jot that down.
Be sure to follow us and like us on
Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music.
Yep, Apple Music.
Soon to be YouTube.
Yep, and I think we're on Twitter too.
Yeah, Twitter too.
Yeah. So again, guys, have a great Monday.
See you. Bye.